You've had it after steak dinner. You've ordered it off the menu at a Cheesecake Factory. You've probably even stolen a bite from someone else's plate. That rich, creamy, melt-in-your-mouth dessert with the perfect crumb crust. Yeah, we're talking cheesecake. But have you ever wondered, how do they make millions of these delicate, decadent desserts in giant factories without ruining them? Today, we're taking you inside the automated cheesecake industry to show you the jaw-dropping technology, precise chemistry, and mouth-watering steps used to mass-produce America's favorite dessert. Stick around. This isn't your grandma's baking show. This is the food industry. Let's get one thing straight. Cheesecake isn't just a dessert. It's a full-blown American obsession. From diners to high-end restaurants, grocery freezer aisles to airline meals, this rich, creamy cake is everywhere. And behind the scenes, it's fueling a multi-billion-dollar industry. You've probably heard of the Cheesecake Factory, right? With over 200 menu items, their signature dessert is what made the brand iconic. But they're just one piece of a much bigger pie. Behind the scenes, you've got industrial powerhouses like Sara Lee, Rich Products, and Juniors, pumping out millions of cheesecakes every single year. Not for a few stores, but for entire supply chains across America. We're talking mass production at scale, factories churning out up to 10,000 cakes a day, with the kind of precision and consistency you'd expect from a car assembly line, not a dessert. Americans consume over 65 million pounds of cheesecake annually. That's more than 30,000 tons of creamy indulgence. And guess what? Every single slice starts in a high-tech food plant built for maximum efficiency and mouth-watering results. Welcome to the world where indulgence meets industry. Before the creamy filling, before the fancy toppings, it all starts with the crust. And in industrial cheesecake production, this base isn't just thrown together, it's engineered. The classic crust: graham cracker crumbs, butter, and sugar. Simple at home, but on the factory floor, we're talking about huge mixing vats capable of blending hundreds of pounds of ingredients per batch. In facilities producing thousands of cakes per shift, there's no room for inconsistency. Everything is measured down to the gram and mixed in industrial ribbon blenders. These machines make sure every particle of crumb gets evenly coated with fat, so the crust binds perfectly without being soggy or brittle. Once mixed, the crust mixture heads straight to the crust depositing station. Conveyor belts carry empty cake pans under a multi-nozzle depositor that drops a precise amount of crust into each one. No guesswork, no hands, just speed and accuracy. Then comes the magic. Hydraulic tampers press the crust into place. Some factories use robotic arms fitted with custom molds to shape the crust evenly across the bottom, and sometimes even up the sides for that signature cheesecake border. These machines can crank out over 100 crusts per minute, all perfectly uniform. Why does this matter? Because a sloppy crust throws off the bake, ruins the structure, and causes the cake to collapse or crack. And when you're making millions of cheesecakes a year, every single crust needs to hold up under pressure. Literally. In the industrial cheesecake world, the base isn't just a base, it's the foundation of success. Now let's talk about that creamy filling. The reason you order the damn thing in the first place. In an industrial kitchen, the filling is produced in giant stainless steel mixing tanks, each capable of holding hundreds of gallons of batter. Here's the usual recipe base. Cream cheese, lots of it. Heavy cream or sour cream for richness. Sugar for sweetness. Whole eggs to bind it. And maybe a hint of vanilla extract, lemon juice, or flavor concentrates. Everything is mixed using high shear mixers, think turbines in a tank, to eliminate air bubbles and create that smooth, velvety texture. Air bubbles are the enemy here. They expand during baking and crack the surface. Industrial plants solve that with vacuum de-aeration systems, sucking out excess air before pouring. Then comes the automated batter depositor, a machine with pinpoint accuracy that fills each crust with the exact volume of cheesecake mixture. Imagine a laser-guided pancake dispenser, but for $10 million worth of dessert. Now here's where it gets tricky. Cheesecake isn't baked like regular cake. Too hot, and you'll get cracks. Too fast, and the center collapses. Too much moisture, and it turns soggy. To pull this off at scale, industrial bakeries use giant tunnel ovens that bake hundreds of cakes at once, at precisely controlled low temperatures, usually around 275 degrees Fahrenheit, 135 degrees Celsius. Some factories even use a steam-injected environment, creating a DIY water bath inside the oven chamber. After baking for 45 to 60 minutes, the cakes move into a cooling tunnel, a slow refrigerated conveyor that gently brings the temperature down. This isn't just to avoid cracks, it's to lock in texture and keep that silky interior intact. Think about it. If you crank out 10,000 cheesecakes a day and even 5% crack, that's 500 ruined cakes. This phase is all about protecting that creamy core. Plain cheesecake? Classic. But this is America. We love options. After cooling, the cakes head to flavor injection stations or topping belts, where automation meets artistry. Some cakes get fruit glazes, like cherry, blueberry, or mango, chocolate ganache drizzled or enrobed, caramel swirls or nut toppings, even layered mousse or sponge inserts. High-end factories use vision systems, literal cameras, and AI to detect cake height, rotation, and placement before toppings are applied. Toppings are piped on by robotic arms with culinary flair that would put Instagram bakers to shame. Every cake is then scanned, photographed, and quality checked. If it's off by even a few millimeters, rejected. Once the cheesecakes are baked, cooled, and topped to perfection, you might think they're ready to hit store shelves. Not so fast. In the industrial cheesecake world, freezing is a science, and it's absolutely critical to preserving that creamy texture and fresh-baked flavor. Factories use spiral freezers, massive multi-level systems that chill cakes down to negative 40 degrees Fahrenheit in under an hour. Why so cold? Because fast freezing prevents ice crystals from forming inside the cheesecake. Those crystals would ruin the smooth texture that customers expect. Once frozen solid, it's time for de-panning. But this isn't someone popping cakes out by hand. Instead, vacuum lifters with gentle heated suction remove each cake from its tin without damaging the crust or filling. A single machine can lift hundreds of cakes per hour, all without leaving a mark. Next up is packaging. Each cheesecake is wrapped in plastic film to lock in moisture, then slid into branded boxes complete with tamper-evident seals, nutrition labels, batch codes, and expiration dates. Automated vision systems check that every label is straight, every code is correct, and every cake is accounted for. If something's off, it's kicked off the line instantly. Finally, the boxed cakes are palletized and loaded into refrigerated trucks, set at precise temperatures for cold chain distribution. From there, they head to warehouse distribution centers, grocery chains, restaurant suppliers, and airline catering services ready to be defrosted and served across the country. These cakes are built to survive thousands of miles and still taste like they came out of a bakery oven. That's not just cold storage, that's frozen logistics mastery. So how the hell does this industrial process still produce something that tastes, well, damn good? It comes down to precision and consistency. Automation reduces human error. Ingredient sourcing ensures consistent flavor. And the tech, from ovens to vacuum deaerators, makes sure each cake meets exact specs every single time. Even your local grocery store cheesecake has probably gone through 50+ quality checks. It's not magic. It's not luck. It's decades of engineering, chemistry, and a little American dessert obsession. So, next time you slice into a rich, creamy cheesecake, remember, it probably traveled 1,000 miles to get to you. It was baked, cooled, frozen, boxed, and shipped without a single crack. And it all happened thanks to a perfectly choreographed industrial ballet. That's not just dessert. That's food manufacturing at its finest. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell, because here on Food Industry we bring you deep inside the factories behind the food you love. And if you want to see how Smarties, chicken nuggets, or even Black Angus beef are made, we've got those videos lined up for you. Until next time, keep eating, keep learning, and remember, there's a whole world behind every bite.